Hello everyone, we are live and this is going to be one of my authors chats of the week. I've been live a few times this week because I have launched a Kickstarter and that is running through I think April 16th if I have my dates correctly, but right now with my move between houses I don't know if I have my dates correctly, but I think it should be around April 16th. But what that means is my mind is split between so many things and including the Kickstarter. And that's what I've usually been talking about lately for the last few of these lives that are solo, and will be doing so again for future ones as well. But I'm going to keep my eye out for my co-host, and we shall see when she pops up. And I'll see if I can find her right now. I don't see her. When's it brought up? There she is. Haha. See if she's invited. But we'll be talking about books, writing, publishing, and everything in between in just a few minutes, and probably my Kickstarter. To throw that in there while it's live, because, yes. Here we go.
There she is.
Oh!
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. I just woke up considering.
That's fine. I mean, you have like the craziest hours, so it's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 days on, 8 days off at night. So yeah, this is my not really my Friday. I guess it's my Saturday now. So I'm off for the duration. So I get to do anything my little heart desires. Let's hope it's writing, getting some writing done. I've been putting that off for way too long. So
I mean, I feel like since the last time we've done one of these, you've published a few books since, I mean, we've talked about, I guess, almost a year ago.
it has been a year since I've been off the talk. Your friend and mine, AP, get back on. Okay, I'll get back on. No, I had the first book. I think I might have just released the second. Always got to have books here, right? So book one.
Yeah, that either you were close to publishing, I mean, the second one, or just, it was sometime around there, because I remember we were talking about your Jaguar.
I think I just finished that one. Of course, now the prequel is out. It's a novella, so it's not quite as big, but it's all the backstory of the world and the story. So that one, even though I have it in paperback here, you can only get paperbacks from me, but otherwise they're free as being a newsletter subscriber. Do you have friends?
Oh, no, well, my friend's in the other room. I was going to say, I think I have your book. I've been collecting all my indie friends' books because moving now into this new house, I will officially have an author's office. And so I want to create a stand of everybody's like books so I can display them. And so I've been gathering them. But in the move, all the books are put in bags, and I have book bags everywhere.
You run out of places. So I thought you were looking for critters. Mine are behaving right now. So I enjoy seeing Odin on there and his adventures. So, and you got married since the last time we talked.
Okay, then it definitely has been like about a year because
on that's always fun.
Yeah, no, that was last June, and it's been a whirlwind ever since because we got back and adopted the dog, and we started house hunting, and now got the house and starting planning the honeymoon, and somewhere in between is like the whole writing career, which is supposed to be everything else.
That's right, exactly. So you still have to make time for that. And I had a question. Are you still doing your art?
I am. I actually had a pet portraiture commission come in, but again, I was like, I will tentatively accept this, but no, it's not going to be turned around as my normal time frame because, again, in the process of moving, I thought I had finally gathered all my work supplies and brought over the frames and everything because I do reverse glass painting, so I need the glass panels, and then realized all my painting supplies still at the other house. So
there you go. You'll get it. You'll get it. You'll get it. You'll get it.
Yeah, so we were talking about like you had your prequel, you have your two books. How many books do you have out at this moment? I thought you've released more since then.
Well, technically this would make 3. if I call the next book coming out book 3 because it's not the prequel, but that would be book number 4. That is due to the editor in May. So I have to hurry and finish this crazy draft. So that will be this week's project and next week's project. Oh, I thought the dog was crying. It's a ball. So I have to get that out. But my goal is to have that drop by July. I have a big AuthorCon coming up, the Texas AuthorCon in Dallas and Richardson. If anybody is in the area, come see us. 100 authors. It's going to be great. So I really don't want to show up without another book. I really do. That is my push. And then right after that will be, which that one is this one that I'm working on, the one with the horse, who leaves imprints of fire hoof marks in the sand and it turns to glass and all this crazy stuff. Book 4. This is book 4. And you've probably seen them on TikTok, but they're not quite out yet.
That's what I was trying to figure out if they're earlier. That's what I was trying to figure out because I know I've seen some of these covers and I didn't know if they were coming releases or recently released ones. So that's why I wanted to clarify.
Goal for this one is winter, so maybe December, January, if I can kick it in gear. And this one will be told from the point of view of Talon's best friend, Marisha. So I'll be changing point of views for the book, and there's a story reason for that. And the final, I'm excited about this one, is the last book. So that was pretty cool. I like the colors. They're all nice together. So, yep, that's where I'm at. So technically 2.5 books out if you do the prequel, and then come July here another 3 months. And
I feel like you should come up with a banner that does have all the books, and then find a way to like stick on coming soon over the ones that you need, and then you can take them off and have your banner already ready for your cons. And then when you're ready, you just peel off the coming soons and.
Wait a minute. I always have my pen to write ideas on lives.
I'm trying to be you. I'll try to, again, channel you because everybody learns something, I feel like, or at least I always learn when I do these kind of things. And I don't know, I feel like since you were planned, so much ahead that you already have your covers pretty much designed and you know the plot lines and you kind of have, a tentative schedule, that's starting to have banners with already having those covers to kind of stir a buzz is not a bad thing, and that means you don't have to reprint them every time you put a book out.
Correct. And so when I was at the con last year, I had all covers but this last one, and I had 2 big banners that had them all listed, but I like the coming soon, and I'm gonna have to invest in more banners to add this one, but just need my final tagline to finish that one up. But yeah, so we're
like some the right kind of, I wouldn't say Velcro because you don't want to actually permanently mess up your banner, but do something, tack them on tentatively, and then you can peel them off when it comes time and you have that banner permanently ready.
There's plenty of creative people out there that do, signs and embroideries or whatever. I'm sure somebody could come up with something. Yeah, I'm sure there's something out there. I just don't know about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's out there. So cool. How many books do you have out now?
I have 13 novellas of one series, and when this next book that I'm running my Kickstarter currently will be my 8th full length. Whenever that one releases in May. But
you're doing awesome. I can't wait to get to
14. Novellas make it look like I write a lot more than I do, and I love that.
That's okay. Writing's writing and stories are stories, right? That's what I'm saying.
That's what's happening. Planning the Kickstarter, moving here, again, trying to balance the direct sales, which is something I just started doing as well. I haven't been writing for almost a month. Anything new, at least. Anything new. And
that's unlike you for how much I know of you. That's unusual. You've been busy.
Yeah. Well, again, everybody is busy for different reasons. And again, you have a busy schedule just regularly. So it's amazing that you can still have the energy between your on-off schedule, because it's I feel like a night shift thing would be so rigorous for me, and I would never know how to cope during the day.
That is the hard part, is flipping. It takes me a good 2-3 days to really get back to a normal day schedule with everybody else, sleep in late or stay up late. But I mean, I really have no excuse, because having that full week off, I should technically have nothing else to do other than write. But then you've got, we're trying to dress up some land, and that takes some time to go out there and do that, or just the house stuff and the shopping and the cleaning and the grandkids and, all of that. So, they just have life stuff, but I could do better.
I think you're doing fine. I mean, it's always good to challenge yourself, but yeah, it's again, all author people are impressive, especially when you're so motivated that you will figure out how to do it when you can, and you're one of those people, and so that is really cool. And you you are. Do not say that. But okay, so you have an event coming up, and you said, is it June? No. What was it?
July.
That's so cool.
So I did the first one last year. It's the Texas AuthorCon, and it started out more. It was their second year last year, my first year. First con doing anything ever of that type. They started out as a big horror community. I am not a horror person. So signing up, it was like, am I going to fit in? All of those things. Lots of comments on the booth and the books and things like that. Learning how to sell was a big thing, so it was a 2-day event. They had workshops, they had panels. I did the fantasy and folklore panel, just bringing in that, and how they work together. And it took me 2 days to figure out how to sell, my book is like, because they're like, what's your book about? And the dreaded question when you're a new author, how do you get that down to the elevator pitch? So that was good. That was good practice. I sold some books, didn't sell out, but I sold some books. So took a lot of those lessons for this year. It's a lot bigger this year. Last year, I think they had 65-ish authors, if anybody from Texas is on. Oh, Meg, 2 away from 55K. Sweet. You keep going. This year we've got about 100 authors. So every year, this is their 3rd year. So every year they're growing just a little bit more. It is multi-genre. Last year was multi-genre. If you're new out there, go do a con. I was so little Miss Shy and nervous again, and other than my adult self, had a flippin' blast. Met a lot of other local authors, and they have quite a few people from coming in from out of state too. So it's gonna be a fun event, door prizes, things like that, more workshops, panels. So I'll be doing the fantasy and folklore again, so that'll be fun. Yeah, July 26th and 7th, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Is this geared to more of the reader populace to get you into it, or writing side, or is it kind of a combination where?
Yeah, it can be a combination. That's why they added the panels this year. It's mostly reader focused, but last year they're like, oh, I'm a new author, and or I'm writing a book. You did get that coming through. And so a lot of people are like, well, what do I do? Or can I take my picture with you? I mean, the people were so excited to actually talk to the authors, and and just tables full of books and books and books. So they were all pretty excited. So there's always been a waiting list from last year, and now there's a waiting list into next year to get into the con. So if anybody's interested, look them up on TikTok, Texas AuthorCon. Get on the list. But it is a little bit, I would say. There's 4 panels, I'm sorry, 4 workshops, and then there's like 8 or 9 just panels, as far as asking for different genres and stuff. But the panels will be like, I think one was, where do you get your ideas? Getting into writing, kind of like a quick start guide 101 kind of thing. So there's a mix for everybody.
This is a 1-day or 2-day event? Ah, very nice.
So I'll be staying the night in Dallas, having a little me time.
And you get to meet people who are passionate about what you do, which is the readers passionate about what you write, and other writers, and that's why cons and conventions and all this, they're a lot of fun.
Oh yes, and I used to be in the wedding industry. I used to be a wedding videographer, so it's like doing a bridal fair. You have your targeted audience. So I had to kind of revert back to that, going, okay, if this were a wedding and I was talking to a bride and trying to get her to buy my service, what would I say? So it kind of goes back to that. You have a very targeted audience that you're selling to. So that was great. I know you do a ton of cons. You do dragons and fantasy and Comic Con.
Cons, but yeah, I've done Dragon Con for the past couple years, and I'll be back again this year. And I've attended the 20 Books 50K, that's rebranding to Author Nation this year, and I will be attending that again this year. But yeah, I don't say a ton of cons. I am trying to be better, to be more aware of what is available for me to sign up and see if they accept me. I always feel like I hear everything too late.
No, you always look busy. You always have something that you're doing. So I think it's great. I haven't been to 20 books, so oh my gosh, 2, 3 years. Been to one, had a blast. Anybody's out there, got to go. Like you said, rebranded Author Nation, so that will be interesting to see what they do. I think it'll be just as great. I mean, they have a lot of the people that have been involved for a long time, so I think it'll be just as great. So that'll be cool. You'll have fun. I have to pass again this year. Have some other travel things that are coming up, and of course the wanting to build the house thing. So yeah, stashing away every penny I can.
I definitely understand that, I do, because you never know what projects are going to like get in the way of what you want to do, or what you want to do is going to get in the way of what you need to do. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle sometimes. But yeah. So how about you? So do you have a routine in mind of trying to move forward with your writing? Because I know you have goals of publishing your next book, but with your on and off schedule, and it takes you a couple days to revamp, like, do you have, I must be at the computer in 3 days after, what motivates you, or what tricks are you doing to stay motivated for your writing schedule?
Deadlines motivate me. Oh crud, I have to have this done. So deadlines do motivate me, and that's something that my editor and I, we talk frequently, and she's like, how's that book coming? I'm like, oh god, I gotta fess up, and she's like, well, she's getting on Readsy now, another resource for people, but she's getting on there. She goes, I'm getting pretty busy with that, so if you want me to do it, I need X amount of time. So she last month, I think it was over a month ago, she was planning out till May. So she was like, girl, I got to get you on the books. Let's kick this in gear. So it's nice to kind of have an accountability partner, maybe, as you say. I mean, she checks in every now and then. It's not like, oh my god, she calls me every week. She doesn't, but every now and then you'll hear from her, and she'll get on you. So I need that. But yeah, I could do way better with scheduling, and it's all just a personal, you have to do it. I mean, that's I have plenty of time to do it. I look back at my schedule, I'm like, god, I played on TikTok, for 3 hours in the afternoon or whatever. I'm like, dude, I could have got out 3,000 words, and if I just do that, X amount of days, it would be done. I mean, we all have the story up here. We all have it. You got to get it down there. So yeah, it's just self-discipline. That's what it needs to be.
The opposite side of things for sure, because I'm one of those people that I'm the opposite of a procrastinator. I must get things done immediately, and then because I move things along fairly quickly, normally ish, then I take on too much, and then all of a sudden, if one thing doesn't get done right away, domino effect, everything starts imploding. And that's kind of what I've been feeling like for the last 6 weeks, is that domino effect of, holy moly, I can't even keep up with anything right now, because I'm trying to do my best, but because I let one thing slide, another thing got pushed off, etc., so on. So
no, it's very true. But you would think with my job, I would be more, this has to get done right now, because being in the ER, crap has to get done right then, or stuff goes south. I mean, you have to plan ahead. You have to think ahead and do that. And I don't know, maybe that's why, the writing thing is so different. It's like I have to shut my brain off from that. It's like, just, do me, relax, not have to go, stress, adrenaline dump, all the time. Maybe that's why I write the way I write. I don't know, the half pantsing, half plotting thing, I'll be at work, but, oh, that's how Talon does this. That's right. I write it down, or I'm gonna forget, the whole, you're in the shower thing, can't write it down, you'll forget it. So yeah, I think maybe it's just me shutting off from the job after 30 years of adrenaline and doing that. So maybe it's my step back and breathe time. I don't know. I kind of just a thought, that could be why that I'm the way I am. I don't know.
and because if this platform is very nice and lets me Sometimes it's not. We'll see. Most of the time it is, though. Let's me repurpose this on my YouTube channel. Let's actually go back to the basics and talk about what you write, because we were talking. We just jumped into like showing the pretty book covers, and we didn't talk about. Oh my God, we're in Portal Fantasy. We base off mythos. Let's start from the. Let's go back for a second.
Yeah, because we've talked to each other a couple times, and it's like we know the story, but it's like we get someone to, hey, what are you up to? We forget that people are like, guys, come on. It's not a social gathering. What's going on? So I write Portal Fantasy like you do, going to other worlds, other realms. It's a folklore retelling of Caribbean folklore. So it's a mix of both. Genres, you could say, the chosen one, the good versus evil, not like a treasure hunt, but this third book they're really getting into, they have to find an object to save the
Quest.
uh, quest. Thank you, the quest. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, we won't use a J word. So it's a quest, but a little bit of elements of those, and how he, since it's a portal fantasy, it's an island under an island, so he has to learn how to, deal with life and things above ground and below ground because it's set in modern day. But there's a lot of the old folklore, that he brings into it, which is all very real in real time under the island. So it's a blend of both.
Now, because you write again in this, I don't want to say urban, and I don't want to say rural, but like again that whole modern day set in our reality kind of fantasy, yet portal fantasy, no portal fantasies. Because you can, do you ever ingrain modern slang or pop culture? But then that could date it because based on the pop culture. But like, do you ever incorporate anything that ties in more so than we have today's technology?
That's interesting you should say that. My first editor, which we parted ways early on, she goes, what a great idea that you took Talon's cell phone from him. So you would think he goes into this strange, crazy world. What is a teenager gonna do these days? They're gonna grab that phone and they're gonna video record. Hey, the selfie. Look at this. You can't do that. You can't call anybody. You can't help anybody just because the phone was taken away by the parents. I'm with you where it's like, is it urban? Is it, since it's set in modern day, but he goes to another world, which is still modern day, but it's all very old. He doesn't have technology, don't have electricity, all the tools and things are handmade. Everything has to deal with nature. He's climbing vines. He doesn't have like ladders. He has to make it if he needs it. Things like that. So I wouldn't say there's a ton of technical modern as far as like slang and stuff. I've tried to bring in more Caribbean slang. I do have a friend that lives in Antigua where it's set, and I'm like, hey, if somebody was like, cussing you out, what would you say? So he kind of helps every now and then, and is so kind. So I try to bring in some of that slang, just to show the cultural side of stuff, but I don't want to overdo it because it gets to be too much yaman. I don't want to do that. But as far as above ground and his modern day, I mean, other people have cell phones or they talk or they call. They do have landlines. They pick up that phone, use the phone, which a lot of people are like, what's a landline? you know, in our day and age.
Still exist? House phones? You mean cell
Yeah, they're like, you had to stand to that thing that was glued to the wall and talk on a phone with a cord like we do in an office. They're like, what? But I try to blend it, but I don't want to get too, like you said, too particular to date it. So there's a little bit of a blend in there. So
I get that. I definitely get that because I mean, all my books that I write, so in all the series, are second world predominantly, with the exception of my Portal Fantasy. The main character comes from our reality. So periodically, to again reference some of that, I'll do like a slang or a turn of phrase to kind of remind you, what you would expect someone from Earth to kind of talk like, and then everybody else is like, I don't understand you. What do you mean? What do you mean scapegoat? There's no goat here.
Yes, and I know that we swapped books quite a while ago, and I was like, I have to finish that book. I get so distracted. I was loving it how she wakes up and she's like, holy cow, and things are after her and she's looking for this, like a cabin in the woods and meets these characters and stuff. I'm just like, this is cool. Yeah. But I'm like, I get so distracted. Oh, that sounds like a good, I mean, I've got 10 books I've started and I haven't finished. It's not because they're not good books. It's because of this is going all the time. So I know what you're saying just from reading the beginnings, and those first couple chapters and stuff. So I promise you I'll get back into it. I promise. But yeah.
I have read your first book, but no, I'm with that because I have had, I've swapped books with other authors. I love collecting signed copies from my book buddies and stuff like that. And I'm such a slow reader that it takes me forever to like get to them. And I feel bad. It's like, I promise I'm not like not valuing your writing. And I promise that it's not like I don't enjoy what you're doing. I'm reading all the time, but it's my own books. Because I'm editing and writing.
In life, you've got to write your books and get married and, deal with the dog. It's life and it does happen and stuff. But yes, I am enjoying it. I am. I need to finish because you are very kind and left a wonderful review. So I must, do
no obligations. I think that's fair. I mean, no obligations. I'm bad about reviews. I'll stack, and I just looked at my review. I have a review basket, and when I go through books, I put them in my review basket. That tells me I need to leave a review at some point. And when the basket gets full, that's when I have to sit down and be like, knock them all out at the same time. Math.
That's a good idea though, because I forget what I've read, did I read that one? Oh yeah, I did. But did I leave a review? That's a great idea, is the review basket. If you have a TBR pile, then you move it.
Oh yeah, and then it finally goes into a permanent place on the shelf. That means everything has to shift.
True. Or go in a book bag.
Or in a book bag. Well, the book bags aren't permanent. They're just they're yelling at me in the book speak, saying, please bring in some more shelves and put us into proper places. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and when the husband and I are talking about building and so forth, it's like, okay, I need built-ins in my office. He's like, why can't you just bring the shelf in there? That's so expensive. I was like, built-ins, but it's got to be built-ins. So I've got to put all these books somewhere. I mean, the office is out of control. That's why I'm downstairs and not in the office. It's a total mess right now.
Well, that's why I finally got I upgraded from one little book thingy to two. Now I can put all my author's copies because again I'm doing direct sales, but I want built-ins. I want floor to ceiling, side to side. I want to be able to, put all my stuff in there and then film in front of it because people will. I've realized. Well, I already knew this, but if you're filming live or any kind of video on platforms, when you have books behind you, that makes sense. I loved my inverted poster thing because it was great to gesture on these kind of things and be like, this is what this is. But if people didn't realize those are book covers, they're not getting it. And it's when you want people to stop and pause when they're like, oh yeah, you talk books. This is what I'm here for. So let's hang out kind of thing.
Oh yeah, it's very obvious that's what you're talking about. Instead of having to sit, like you said, and watch a live for 3 minutes. What are they talking about? It's books. But I see a little bit of headspace up here. You've got swords. You just saying that sword right across. Then you kind of hint a little genre. I'm waiting for that sword to go up there.
It's so funny. My armory, because it is an armory at this point. I will not have, once I finish putting up stuff, I will not have room for it in my true office. So I need to create a space for it because I have too many things. And it is kind of fun to have them be periodically show, but I have too many of them that are kind of all together and they flow. And so I need to find a real room. I've been joking about, again, Viking fantasy. So I collect a lot of Viking replica stuff to create the basement and convert it into an underground meat hall and have all the round shields on the wall, all the swords, the axes, the spears just hung up there. And I'm like, yes, meat and pointy objects, great together, but we're going to do it.
So your husband, is he a carpenter, a home DIYer type? Can he make that for you? Or are you that girl?
But he's also good about, I want to do things, make sure things are done well. So if it's not in his wheelhouse, he's also comfortable and me to bring in someone else. But so with the unfinished basement, we're probably going to have to bring in someone at least for a few stages. But we shall see. That would be kind of fun, an underground meat hall.
That would be Well, you gotta
Very
get.
Viking speakeasy style.
I was just gonna say, speakeasy. Get your drinks down there. Maybe get your little laptop out. Get in the mood down there and start writing.
Yeah, well,
Good.
the problem is, whatever I end up writing, I'll come back and be like, "What was I thinking?
That's
Where
true.
did this come from? I don't know if this is usable stuff." Oh dear.
Editing. That's why we edit.
All the lovely editing. Yes, yes. But yes, okay. So with your book series and going back, you're working on releasing your third one, not including your prequel, later on this year. You already know the rest of that series. Do you have any idea what you might do after, or are you at this point just 100% concentrating on this series? Other things may come whenever they come, or do you already have like, ooh, I want to do this next?
Little bit of both. I want to do a tournament style something, a little bit darker. I've been calling this series my palette cleanser, my fantasy palette cleanser. It's not a heavy dark fantasy. There's a few little dark spots in it, but I mean appropriate for middle grade mostly, younger adults or the young at heart. But I would like to go a bit darker. Bring in more elemental stuff. God, I just love that stuff. And I have a few ideas and that brain, I've got to rein it back in. I'm like, no, you need to finish this one. Cause I mean, I guess maybe, and it's also new. I mean, it's not so new now that I've done 4 books, then I've written 2 with my cousin being a co-author that will never see the light of day. But it's like you're getting it out, you're getting it done, you're doing the learning process, and you're getting better as you go. Learning what my editor is looking for now, so I can edit less and write better the first time. But then it's like, can I concentrate on 2 series at the same time? You know, do I use a pen name? Do I, what do I do? But it's just kind of like everybody else does it. Why can't I? But like you said, I don't want to get distracted. I do want to just focus on that one and get off my plate because it has been so long in between releases of books the last 3 years. It's been like one a year. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I have 8 days off every other week. I can get out more books. It's that gumption again to just get it done. I love writing. It's not that oh god, it's a dread. All right, it's not that. It's just maybe part of it is the pantsing. Is sometimes you have an idea and then it goes somewhere else when you're writing too. That kind of changes things up. But I don't know that I'll do a new pen name. That's twice the work with everything with.
Yeah, that's my issue. Is like that's why everything so far is rolled under my name, even though again they go from YA, new adult, to the very adult in the sense of the darker, grittier stuff. And I'm just like, so far it's all the same pen name. I'm sorry if it's confusing, but do you know how hard that is for marketing multiple pen names? Everybody who does it, kudos for you, because that sounds exhausting.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. You look at other authors that have done it, and they have a section on their website. If you like this genre, click here. You like this genre, click there. Okay, easy, simple. And then you have twice as many things to maintain, 2 different newsletters, and it just goes on and on and on and snowballs. But I will stay in fantasy genre for sure, just because I like to make things up. I mean, as far as research, I could not do sci-fi, technical, historical. I would go down a rabbit hole and never come out as far as, research, which has been nice to have my, as far as this one set in the Caribbean, emailing my buddy, hey, what is this? What does this cost there or whatever, how high is this landmark, for the guy to fall off or, whatever. So that's kind of easy right now, I'd say. And, you can find a lot of stuff on the internet, but I will definitely keep going and doing more after this series. I'd like to have it all wrapped up in a year. I really would like that. I've got 2 of the audiobooks out for book 1 and 2 as well, which is not cheap. And then I would like to do the prequel, but I think I'll wait on that since it's the freebie, and I don't know. I'm giving it away free, but then you get people into your series and into your world. So I can't decide on the money thing there yet, but love my narrator. So I've got that going. So, you add another series, you add another pen name, you add more books, you add more of that, doing it all independently on your, your own, that is going to add up too. So I'm like, let's focus on one.
Here's a nice thing is when you finish your first series, there are a number of readers that only read complete stuff. They refuse to pick up something halfway through, and so the sooner you finish something, the sooner you can tap into those readers. And of course, you don't want to rush your book series by any means, but everybody wants it right away. So that's why you'll potentially see new readers finding you because they're like, oh, complete series? Because I get that question all the time. Is it a complete series? And I'm like, well, 2 of them are not, but I do have one.
I have heard that too, and that's one of the reasons I decided when I was like, okay, when I'm writing here, I'm gonna try to, make some money off this. This is the full-time, hopeful gig someday. So I was like, it's got to be a series. Now looking back, would I have picked 5 book series to start with? I should not have done that. So I would do 2 or 3. So the next series, I'm like, okay, let's take a step back here. How long is it? I mean, because I could be done by now and on to another series with the 3 books out, or well, counting the novella. So it's like, all right, next time it's probably going to be a duology for this next one. If I get into it as a trilogy, okay, but unless I just find something that's blow your socks off amazing, I'm not going to go into this 10 and 13 book thing. I'll just keep it smaller. Yeah.
And depending on, again, how much you love your project, some people have figured out, and it's kind of a marketing strategy too, where if you invest in your universe, whatever your universe is, or multiverse as usually mine end up being, that you write like a main series, and it could be a trilogy or a duology, and then you do a spin-off and a spin-off, and you stay within the world you build. You can expand on side characters, you can still have all that fun that you want, and have actually in the end, long, weird, if you really want to view it as one jumbo series, yeah, sure, but because you release them that's what I think the Grishaverse, duologies, trilogies, I think she had released a single book, I don't know, but again, with the Shadow and Bone series and everything, and Six of Crows, they're all interlinked, but they're smaller, easy, biteable subsections.
Or the Cosmere. I mean, come on. This guy never stops. The Cosmere. So, amazingly enough, I have 12 of his books sitting on the shelf. I haven't read one. I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's so funny. But no, I mean, there are different ways to approach it. I definitely am. I do feel the pressure to finish a series because of that. But on the other hand, I like writing long series. I like just immersing into, whoever the characters are, whatever their struggles or, their adventures and successes and a lot of failures and stuff like that. Though in the end, my book series are going to be as long as they need to be. And so that's why 16 novellas. But that will be finished at the end of this year. So, oh, please, they love finish this year. And, then I'll have 2 series under my belt. But it's hard when you do love to write long, lengthy series, and then you have all the people who are like, well, when is it done? Because we're waiting for it to be completed. And I'm like, do you know how writing works?
Well, yeah, and that's my thing is sorry for spoilers, but mine usually end on some sort of cliffhanger, and everybody's like, God, I gotta, it's a year till the next book comes out. Get on it. So that's a problem when you're writing a series and it's not fast, and you write a lot faster too. So I think with
again, it's an illusion. Remember, I haven't written it about a month. It's an illusion. I've just stacked them, so my release schedule is still going accordingly, even though my producing new things schedule is terribly behind. I do see a question for you, Stephanie, from Derek Bourne saying, has Stephanie ever heard?
Hey, buddy, Bookman. Okay, go ahead.
He was asking, have you ever heard the I Get a Book Idea song? Actually, I have not heard the I Get a Book Idea song.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, Derek's messing with me right now. Yes, you need to. God, can we search it, Derek? When we're done here, can you search I Got a Book Idea, or does she just have to go through your page? No, Derek was marketing genius when he did this one on TikTok. Do you remember the duet where the guy's playing the guitar and people sing along or something?
Probably.
It's a video like that. You'll want to jump through the screen and pull Derek's hair out after you hear it, because it's kind of like Baby Shark. You can't unhear it, and you'll be singing it all the time. Thank you, Derek. Now, I'm not going to sing it right now, if that's what he's wondering. I'm not going to sing it. He can come on the live and sing it for us. But
hysterical. That's hysterical. Okay, I'll have to like try to remember to look this up. I probably won't because I have like to do press something and do one more thing right after this. But sorry, not sorry. Okay,
One of
Derek.
us will send it to you later.
Or you can like message me or something out. You have my messages.
Yeah, one
You
of
can.
us will send it to you.
No, this is so much fun, and this is one of the great things about being on Book Talk are all the bookish people because everybody's fantastic in their own way.
Yes, thank you, government, for wanting to ban our TikTok.
We will. We are going to deny this. No, yeah, that is. It's disconcerting, and that is why anybody who's listening, if you love a creator, it doesn't have to be us, but we would like it too. Make sure you follow them on other platforms, so if something does go down one place, you can still have access to their content. Woo! Okay, that was my pitch. We're done.
I get it. Oh, the security. Okay, I get it. Facebook's the same way. You know, it's end rant. Moving on.
But yeah, it's one of those, and I will admit, like when one of my hesitancies way early on was, the origin of this platform and would they get my data and all this kind of stuff, and it was things to consider. And then in the end, I was like, money speaks. I'm an author and I must reach new people. And then jumped on, and I was just like, I don't even care about that. This place is fun. These people.
It is though, because
I find myself. I did it willingly. Okay, I am unconscious that I did, and I'm okay.
yes, and every platform is like that. You can use it for good, you can use it for bad, you can use it for stupid dancing videos, whatever you want to do. I mean, it's just like anything in life. You can take, the AI thing, take it and twist it. Oh my gosh, it's going to take over the world. It can be a tool, it cannot, whatever, use it or don't. But, know what you're, like you said, know what you're getting into. Don't willingly share, make sure all your buttons and things are changed to as much as you can. But it's like, yeah, I've met so many fun people in here and friends and books and stories that, we know a lot of the same group, obviously. But it's kind of a bummer, So, yes.
It is, but I'll just hope for the best and plan for what if and keep moving forward because it's in the sad in this. I'll move off from this topic in a moment, but the sad thing is that there are so many creators and here like book people, author people who run their shops almost exclusively, if not exclusively, through this platform. Thankfully, mine's a little more diverse. I have the website first and then the shop front here, but that's not the case for everybody, and to lose that source of income is scary for some people. So, anywho, but good things, good things. Are direct sales something you've considered doing, or are you moving in that way, or do you do it currently?
I am moving that way. Oh gosh, I've been back and forth between PayHip and Shopify. Actually, the phone is being propped up on Morgana's book right now, so I get to talk to you without having to do this and get down. So yeah, she's a big proponent of Shopify, but yeah, it's the, how many books do you have out versus how much do you think you might get back to pay for that? Another subscription, another thing to do. But yeah, I definitely need to do it. I've had several people ask, hey, where do I get your books? And they're like, do you have a storefront? I'd like to support you personally. So I actually have people coming and asking for that, and I'm like, I have got to get off my tush and get that set up. I have all of the back end stuff in, all the EIN numbers and the tax stuff and blah blah blah. Just got to set up the shop. And I'm like, this would be a good time to do it, getting ready to do the fourth book. It's like, okay, I have enough now. I've got audio, ebook, got paperback, got large print, gonna do some other things, and do a teacher's guide and activity thing for kids and stuff to go along with it.
That's You said large print, and I need to talk to someone about like potentially moving that way too.
Yeah. And then one that Adam was doing was for dyslexic friendly. I would like to do that as well too, because there is a setting in the program in Vellum that will allow you to do that. So I'm like, I've got the content. Let's reach more people, so that is another thing that I would like to, get into it now. And you look into that. Now I have all these, excuse me, different formats and stuff to finally offer instead of, oh, I just have one book on Shopify, So it's like, I have been told, wait till you get several books to go that route because it is more expensive. You can do a lot, I guess, with the free one. I haven't finished looking into their actual, levels and stuff, but I will do it. I am doing it by book release 3 time. It will be up. So.
And thing, like if you do make that jump, and sometimes doing, obviously you have them all individually, you could do a bundle deal and offer them in different ways that may appeal to different people, and of course your different formats, and that plumps up your shop a little bit as well. Plus, when you sell direct, one, regardless of what you charge, you're making a higher profit margin, and so that does help. And then the other thing is you can choose to sell them less than, Amazon or something, and then pull people more towards you, or you can sell them a little bit more, but then offer like a few little goodies. That's what I usually do, is because I wrap them and I stamp them and I put a whole thank you gift bundle and everything. I do charge a little bit more for direct, but I'm also giving them a lot of personalized stuff with it as well. And I know people really like that, as so there are ways to play around with it. It just depends on how much you want it bite off.
Yes, and how much time you have to do that.
Yes.
Yes, but it will get done this year, like by summer. So I've got a couple family obligations I've got to get to and projects to get ready for that. Make a video for a reunion and some other things that like aren't writing, but I think by then it'll be ready.
Yeah, I wish I knew you were a wedding videographer. A year too late, but
that's right. Not anymore. I have zero equipment, but yeah, oh gosh, I had a room in the house that was just full of cameras and gear and tripods, and so it's a technical business to be in, and you got to keep up and keep plunking money into it all the time, and hard drives and space, and yeah, anyway. So yeah, it's a lot of work.
Well, I mean, anything artistic is a lot of work. Writing is a lot of work. Anything artistic.
Yes, but going through 3 camera views of 8 hours of a whole day of footage.
Not for me. Not for me.
Exhausting.
Not for me. Oh man, nope.
I am glad. I mean, I'm glad I did it a lot. I met a lot of wonderful, awesome people that I still love and adore. But yeah, I wouldn't do it again.
That's fine. You live and you learn. I mean, there are a lot of things that I did that it's funny though. A lot of my random things that I've done, I've been able to pull some of those kind of backgrounds and knowledge that I've gained and incorporate it in my author business that people might not expect. Having one of my degrees in animal behavior and animal psychology, I want to be Dr. Doolittle, and the fact that my first series were animal shapeshifters, and I was able to pull from that and put that in a fantasy. It is kind of fun, just the weird things that you're like, yeah, I had this odd background knowledge about blank, and was able to utilize it in.
Yeah, well, and even with the wedding videos, you're telling a story. You're telling a story of the day. It's still stories. In the end, and we even did a thing called A Love Story, and how you met and what you love about each other, the thing, and they play it at the reception. But I mean, I think a lot, like you said, it's art, it's creative. And I think anything like that, even people that paint or I guess you with your painting and stuff, it's like, I'm telling a story of this, this being, whether it's, moving or not, or you're listening to it or not, or any of that. It's just a different way to tell a story.
And Derek popped in a little comment saying, all right, I found the video and tagged you, both of you in.
I forgot already. It's like, okay, now it's really stuck in my head, Derek.
We will appreciate that video after this one. Oh my goodness. Anywho, actually, because we're rounding that hour mark already, let me hit some of the basics, because again, if this platform lets me repurpose it, people will want to know, where can people find and follow you outside of Book Talk? Do you have a website, newsletter, what other socials, that kind of thing? Let's hit the basics again.
Okay. So my ID here on TikTok is at author Stephanie DosSantos, and that is the same ID on Instagram and Facebook. So at author Stephanie DosSantos, but the website, same thing, www.authorstephaniedossantos.com. So those are the big places that I'm at right now: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, my website, and that will be the same place that I put up the store eventually. So you do go to the website to get the free e-novella. Let's dig it out, show it again in my stack.
Yay!
So yeah, this one's about 40,000 words. The other novels are about 70 or 80. And just kind of like you were saying earlier, as far as the next one, the book is done when it's done. Kind of like when you're saying with the series, if this one's 60,000 words, if I tell the story in 60,000 words, it's 60,000 words. If it's 100,000 words, 100,000. I don't think it'll be that much, actually. Let me just clarify. But yeah.
You're gonna ride a beast on your last one. When you get to that last one, you're gonna be like, I'm not ready to let go. We must.
Yeah, because everybody's like, they're like, don't you kill off that character? Don't you get rid of him? And I was like, haven't decided yet.
I was talking to I had a meeting with one of my narrators yesterday, and he was talking about, going through, and he's actually the sound editor of my voice cast version, and he was just like, man, when you took away that one character, I was about to throw my tablet across the room, and I was like, sorry.
Oh God, that's cool when they get into it too. They're like, what are you doing? So yes, that'd be great.
I love hearing about emotional turmoil when people are upset about me unaliving characters, because depending on the book series, it happens more than they might like. Not all of them, but there are a few. The darkest, the Viking one, you gotta understand, it's Norse mythology. Just good luck.
It happens, yes. And I have had friends and stuff that have read my book at work. They're kind of like my beta readers mostly. They're like, why did you do that? Or they're like, this guy's got to go. Steph, he's got to go. So I did take some of that to heart, and somebody does go. Don't want to give any spoilers, but somebody goes.
Oh, interesting. I must read the next one. I know your second one's out, but I have read the first. Must read your second one. When I have this theoretical time, I'm putting it on my.
Right.
Oh,
exactly.
Let me also ask. Okay, so where can people find and get your books? And obviously, where can they buy them? And what formats are they in currently? I know I'm just repeating some of what we talked about, but make sure we hit it.
Okay. Sorry, the dog wanted me to throw the ball. Sorry, he was trying to be quiet. Yeah, all the books are available wide. I did recently pull from Spotify for my audiobooks, so you'll have to look around for those. So Audible there. But the paperback, I don't have hardback yet. That is a project this summer if you like hardbacks. So, but paperback, I've got the large print that we talked about, the ebooks, and the audiobooks for the first two books. Barnes and Noble, Drafted Digital, all the different places that they go to. So I'm not a KU girl. I'm not exclusive anywhere. I did not want to put all my eggs into one basket. And then eventually available this summer direct from my website. So those are what I've got so far.
And I had a question pop in and asking, what platform do you recommend for iPhone when downloading one of your books? That's I guess for audiobooks. And good question. I actually don't know for sure. I do know Amazon, when they create their Audible platform, also is supposed to distribute through iTunes. I don't know if that helps, but what platform? So Audible, iTunes, I know that's where my audiobooks are. Stephanie said hers are at a variety of places, though not Spotify anymore. So
that's a whole other conversation.
Yes, and one of the things is, because I do direct sales, and I've been doing it in different ways. One of the things I want to do is figure out how to sell audiobooks direct going forward, so then I can kind of be able to give them to whomever, and they can download it on whatever platform. That is on my to-do list. So I do not sell audiobooks directly, and right now they are currently exclusive through Audible, though that should change in the near future. That's my goal. One of my goals.
Doesn't BookFunnel have an audio platform? Because I just wrote them to get on the beta.
Ooh, what? Hell, it's coming my way.
It's what?
That's why when someone told me that, I think it was, I don't know if it was last week or this week, early this week or 2 weeks ago, something recently, and someone was like, yeah, you could do that through BookFunnel and then sell it on your website. And I was like, what? I can do that? That's so exciting. And if you're asking about ebooks, okay, he's asking about ebooks. Ebooks, if you buy directly through me, I have all my ebooks on my website, and they route through BookFunnel, and depending on your type of reader, what you want, they have what you need already formatted. And outside of that, they're on on Kindle. So they're on Kindle, but I wanted to be able to distribute them to people who weren't on Kindle, moved away from KU for that purpose. So if you're not a Kindle reader, you can check on my website through the link in the bio and be able to get a ebook for your type of reader or phone or whatever app. The app you choose.
Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of audiobooks, so I couldn't answer that other question that they were asking about audiobooks, but I do know that the book funnel, I think you have to write them and ask them to get the tab at the top, but it's there, it's available. Because I was like, when I was setting up the direct stuff, I'm like, I got all the files. I might as well just do audiobook. I got it all, all I have to do is hit the button.
I will note, and I have to figure out how to let people know a little better about, because I know selling direct for indie authors is becoming more and more prevalent, and hopefully in the future people will expect this, but because a lot of times they do route their shop to BookFunnel, BookFunnel sends them the downloadable file or link, and when people don't know that, I've gotten a few emails, they're like, so where's my ebook? And I'm like, did you not see that? And I'll resend them the stuff, but I'm like, technically, and I'm like, I try to make sure it's written on the website, so I'm like, expect this other email coming through from BookFunnel, but I think I have to make it like maybe red lines or red bold words of, just know this is how you're getting your file. It should be instantaneous. If it's not pretty much instantaneous, then you can message me and be like, hey, yo, something's up. But it's trying to educate people, because they're thinking it's akin to what they expect from, I guess, some of these others. Again, I haven't really worked with Barnes & Noble yet, but like Amazon or something like that. So it is convoluted.
Good point. But, and yeah, their like support and stuff is phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got to meet some of those BookFunnel people the last time I went to the 20 Books conference and kind of hang out with them a little bit, but they're pretty cool.
They're cool people.
Yes. Okay, let me also ask, and this goes for anybody else out there as well, this is just, is there any topic, are there any topics that you wanted us to cover that we haven't, and the same goes for you, Stephanie, or is there any questions that any of you had that you didn't have before? But yeah.
I don't know. I was just so excited to get back on and start talking to people and doing lives, because I love lives. I just like chit chat, just talk about books, talk about writing. Hey, what are you doing? Here's what I'm doing. A lot of just catching up today, I think has been great. But otherwise, just yeah, if you like fantasy, you like folklore retellings, just think Aru Shah and Percy Jackson in the Caribbean.
I like
that's free. So.
You have a cool way to pitch your book. I need to find cool ways to pitch my books. Some of them are easier than others, but my young adult portal fantasy, I'm just like, the hardest one. And that's why I do these Kickstarters, because I'm like, I need to just try different things, because it's hard to, it's so different. It's odd, it's strange, it's fun. And yes, BookFunnel, thankfully, I'll try, hopefully this clarifies a little bit. Website, you buy it off there. You should get an automatic download link from email from BookFunnel, and you click it, and it'll be like, what format do you want? Blah, 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 blah. And it should be pretty easy. But again, if you're new to it, have any questions, I mean, I'll try my best, and the support system there is pretty good. It really is not that hard, but it is because it's a new way to get stuff. And again, it's becoming more and more popular, but it's a new way. Hi, April. Yeah, that is what it is. And okay, but I will say, because we are hitting the end of the hour, but I will also say, if you are in Texas in July, you should check out Stephanie live at
Texas AuthorCon.
Texas AuthorCon. And what date is that?
I believe it's the 26th and 27th. It's whatever that Friday, Saturday is, or Saturday, Sunday. Gosh, I should have been ready to tell you. But it is the end of July. I know the 26, 27 right in there, whatever that weekend is. But they have a TikTok ID under the same name, and the dates are all over the place.
It's in Dallas?
Huh?
It's in Dallas?
It's right outside Dallas in Richardson, just, suburb. So a good 2-hour drive for me, and I'm there, bang, over, done. So, but they'll have, door prizes. It's free to get in. The workshops and panels and buying books, all the genres, 100 authors. So
That's fun. That's so exciting. And for me, I guess my big thing is Kickstarter is still running and goes through, I think, April 16th. And this is for my young adult portal fantasy, adventure-based, quest-filled series that deals with the magical multiverse. So young adult series. I don't know if I've hit all the tags. Probably not. But link in bio. Everything's in the link in bio. I just throw everything in that. My links page on my website is wild. I just throw everything in there. But the Kickstarter's at top, because that is what I'm focusing right now. for the second, this second.
Maybe for my next book series, I'll hit that, but I got enough on my plate right now.
Well, I understand. I definitely understand. And like, there were so many goals everybody has. Like, I'm trying to slowly convert to wide from being exclusive and doing, pulling stuff, trying to hit my direct sales. Then I'm trying to take it to the true wide, so distribute them elsewhere. And that gets a little complicated.
You're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing awesome, girl.
It's a little bit of a struggle bus, and I've just been focusing on like trying to take my ebooks wide, and I'm just like, woo, it's a little harder than I wanted it to be. But we shall see if I get some things resolved. But yeah, that's one of the goals. If I can get that done, who knows what's next? Translations.
Oh, hey, you nailed it.
I wanted to keep my business. But no, I think that would be kind of cool to have large print and other kind of things available as well, because those are, options that a lot of people don't think of that aren't that theoretically hard to do. Yeah. Cool stuff.
Yeah, I got to verify to continue. It's telling me it's going to knock me off in 58 seconds.
Oh yeah, I don't know why it started doing that, where it's like whoever I guess it claims the host is, and since technically you invited me this time, you're the host. I figured out that it's always a host, and you have to do the little swipey thing, because it's like, yeah, you have your timeline. It's like, are you still there? Are you alive?
Longer than an hour?
Swipe.
Can you go longer than an hour? Or are we done here in 20 seconds?
Yeah, for me, like, it shows a little puzzle piece, and you just have to, like, swing it over. I don't know why. Why do I say so?
Okay, I was like, oh gosh, do I have to wrap this up? Bye, nice talking to you later. Okay, no.
Hey, if we glitch and we're gone, that's why. I blame you.
No, but no, I know you've got stuff to do too, and stuff, and I got writing to do.
Yes, and I am behind, as like I said, I feel like when one thing gets out of the way, everything else gets out of the way, and but yeah, so I understand. But thank you for coming out and hanging out with me this afternoon, and we shall hopefully do this again before too much longer, and let me know whenever you want to do it. I do them weekly, schedule in advance.
Let's do it.
And thank you for everybody who's been stopping by and hanging out with us. Appreciate it.
Very good. Bye, Derek. Bye. Thanks, girl.